really good idea of what this is going to be about. Let's get to it. The Dark Souls mindset I will take to my grave. Like, I feel like this is going to be something like it's not going to matter how many times you die. You just have to keep trying, something like that or whatever. But yeah, we'll see.
Have you ever felt completely stuck? No matter what you do or what you try, it all just seems to end in constant failure over and over and over again.
Yep.
If you do, that makes two of us. When I think back to it, I still think it's bonkers how such a trivial thing like a video game could teach me so much about myself that
This is that's what Elden Ring taught me pretty much. Yeah, so Elden Ring was my very first Souls game, and I've learned so much because of it, especially when it comes to facing hard times or times where I feel like I'm not getting anywhere. I feel like I don't know where to go, I don't know what to do. But I keep trying anyways. I keep writing torrent. I just keep on killing enemies. I keep collecting runes. I keep searching for answers, something like that. Yeah, it was tough. It was a very unique and special and a great experience that I will never ever forget. It was pretty much the experience of a lifetime. I will never forget about it. It pretty much led me into moving out of my parents' house um to be more independent and all that. It sort of lift all of my worries and fears, and just face everything head on. And there are things that it taught me that there are things that I worry about too much when I don't really have to. I just have to take action. That's pretty much it. That's the only way to get through whatever hardship you're get or difficulty you're going through at the moment. The only way is through, pretty much.
I hadn't figured out in 25 years of existence, which is exactly the year of my life when I started playing it for the first time. Dark Souls. When I first picked this game up, I didn't think much of it. I knew it was really well known, I knew it was supposedly hard, but I just thought it might be something fun to play, seeing as I had a pretty bad laptop at the time that couldn't really run most games, so I kept resorting to older, more accessible ones. And I remember looking at this list online of games that were supposedly the top must-play games of all time, and I remember seeing Dark Souls up there, and that got me really intrigued.
Yeah, I'm very much aware of the Dark Souls franchise, but I never really played it. But yeah, I do know about it. It's not the same as hack and slash, but yeah, I grew up playing Devil May Cry instead of Dark Souls. But yeah, like I said, Elden Ring was my first Souls game, and I'm not. I don't think other Dark Souls or Souls games are the same as Elden Ring in terms of like the world, because I've played a little bit of Dark Souls 3 after Elden Ring, and I think it's pretty much linear. So I don't know if it's at Dark Souls, the other Dark Souls 1 and 2 are as linear as 3, and I'm not sure about Bloodborne and Sekiro yet. But yeah, I do plan to play those when I finish Dark Souls 3. But yeah,
Now, innocent younger me, a guy who shut himself away with video games to numb the sting of reality, booted it up for the first time. My first impressions was that the controls themselves were quite clunky. I didn't play on a controller, so the entire combination of keys to swap weapons or even perform power attacks was so weird to me. And the kicking, man, like the kicking was such a tight input of keys, I always kept messing it up, and it kept getting me killed. At the beginning, I didn't feel like I was necessarily dying because the game was hard. I felt like I was fighting the controls more than anything else. After a while, I get to the first boss in the Undead Asylum, and that's when I first faced that sense of dread you feel in a Dark Souls game. You're in a closed arena with nothing to help you or to save you. The music is scary and loud. You can't even hear yourself think, and the boss is doing a ton of damage to you with a very large and what I thought at the time to be a very unfair hitbox.
this is already a familiar thing for me, cause yeah, I played Devil May Cry, but it wasn't as Dark Souls is a lot more difficult. Like, Souls games are for sure a lot more difficult than uh Devil May Cry. At least for most modes on Devil May Cry. Yeah, but the very hard difficulty in Devil May Cry, which is Dante Must Die, is as it could be as difficult as uh like the initial game of Elden Ring, not NG plus, not plus not the new game plus, just the normal game. But yeah, it's already the boss fights and the music. It's already a familiar feeling for me. But yeah, the only unique uh thing about Souls games is the overall experience of like hardship or figuring things out by yourself. The only thing that you have for clues are item descriptions and like the list uh of places you can go, and pretty much you're you're maiden. Yeah, there's always a maiden in every Souls game, I think. I'm not sure in Sekiro. Do they have that?
Of course, I failed the plunge mechanic at the start. For the life of me, I couldn't figure out the timing to actually press the attack button. But after I did, things got much easier. And I'll be honest with you, being in that arena with that music, it spiked my heart rate and gave me a bit of anxiety, but I pulled through in the end and was quickly dropped off at Firelink Shrine. For those of you that don't know, this is the game's hub, or home base, whatever you want to call it, and it made me
The
feel safe and warm for
bonfire.
a change, unlike the rest of the game until now, which was very unwelcoming. I pressed on, wandered into the graveyard, and got absolutely obliterated. Not once, not twice, not 3 times.
Maybe a couple hundred.
Suddenly, I was just questioning myself. Am I just bad, or am I just going the wrong way? The scariest thing about that moment wasn't necessarily the dying, it was the uncertainty. I don't know how many of you feel the same way as I do, but every time I died, I was losing my souls, and I felt like I was losing progress and potentially getting weaker. I felt like I was gimping myself. It felt like I just wanted to reset the game and create a new character because of it. I stopped playing.
The thing about this is that I think um there comes a point, you get to a point where the quote unquote imposter syndrome kicks in, like the feeling of having a skill issue kicks in, and you don't know how to fix it. But yeah, the only way to fix it is to, figure things out by mastering the controls, figuring out enemy attack patterns or behavior, and the list goes on. You just have to try every single time. But yeah, there will there will you will get to a point where it feels bleak or hopeless. But yeah, but y- there should be a time where you just have to stop feeling it. You just have to stop feeling hopeless. You just have to stop uh uh like thinking about how bad you are and just get good at the game. Yeah, as a lot of Souls players say, sometimes they say it in the meanest manner, but yeah, it's the rawest thing that they could say, which is get good. Yeah, there's not much to it.
At this very moment, there were no arrows, no aids, no tips, no minimap. It was just me and this world I was alone to figure out. I went to sleep. I woke up the next day and went to class. I was in college at the time, and I remember I couldn't stop thinking about Firelink Shrine. There were so many ways to go, areas I couldn't access yet. It felt like a maze. It was more overwhelming than my biochemistry class, and that's saying something. I got back home that day and sat at my desk looking at my screen for a few minutes. I remember thinking to myself, what the hell is wrong with me? Like, this is just a game. Why does it make me feel so scared to pick it up? And then it hit me. It's the uncertainty.
Yeah, it's the fear of uncertainty. It's the fear of not knowing what to do. How not having the knowledge to finish it. But the thing about video games is video games are meant to be finished or beaten. You have all the it in an overview is that you have all the resources that you need in order for you to beat the video game. You just have to find out what those resources are. That's pretty much it. And I think it applies also to life. That's why it teaches you so much. All Souls games, for sure.
The same uncertainty that had plagued me for most of my adult life was here, present in the form of a video game. There was no hand holding, much like no one's ever been there to hold mine as I got older. And that's when I double-clicked the game and booted it up again. I felt anger at myself as I forced myself to play it as if I had something to prove to myself, that I could indeed win this battle against myself, this inherent fear I had of the unknown. There are two key moments in this game that I'll never forget. And no, they're not the big boys themselves, Ornstein and Smo. By the time I got there, I felt like I was a seasoned veteran at this game that enjoyed getting his ass whooped, a true Souls masochist. The first moment is that damned Capra demon fight. I remember being
For me, it was Malenia and Consort Radon. That's for sure. Yeah, I died a lot to those two. Like, give it like maybe around 700 to 800, both of them combined on deaths. Yeah, I died around 800 times. That's for sure. Figuring out attack patterns, timings or windows for punishing, and resource management, etc.
so excited going through that fog for the first time. What epic boss could this be? What huge arena could I be stepping into? And and my face just turned pale. Firstly, at the size of the arena, it was incredibly claustrophobic and terrifying. There was barely any room to roll. Secondly, not only was I fighting Capra Demon, but I was also fighting two dogs, which were incredibly quick and annoying. And I immediately got pounced on by all three of them and died. I was dumbfounded. What the hell was this? How is this fair? I thought to myself. How is anything
Yeah,
fair?
that's the thing about playing Souls games. I think you will always, or you will often feel as if you are backed into a corner, especially if you're a beginner Souls player or a new player of the franchise. But for Souls veterans, yeah, they're definitely just used to it. They know what's up. They know what to do already. But yeah, for new ones, like myself, like 2 years ago or a year ago, when I played Elden Ring, it felt like I had nowhere to go. It almost feels like I'm helpless. Uh, uh, at one point of playing the game. Well, not only at one point, actually, many times. But yeah,
In life fair. Unfair things happen to us all the time, or maybe that's just something we tell ourselves to avoid taking any blame or responsibility. Just because something's unfair, does that mean we should just give up? What's stopping us from using all the tools we have at our disposal to beat whatever situation we're in? I have a couple of heavy armor pieces on me, including a helmet I got off of twin gargoyles, and even this shield.
it's all about
And
resources.
here's a ledge I can bait the mobs to and kill them one by one. And just like that, Capra Demon was dead. And not because I got help, not because I gave up, but because I used the tools at my disposal
Yes,
and
sir.
used my surrounding to take advantage. Now you may be wondering, I did mention that two situations stuck with me. The Capra Demon fight being one of them. What could the second one be? Blighttown.
I've heard about
Blighttown
this.
for me was the turning point for me in this game. If I was ever unsure if I was ever going to be able to beat it, I was sure now. For those of you who've never experienced this place, let me set the picture, okay? You just finished climbing up to the tallest point in the game and you feel on top of the world. You just rang the first bell of awakening. You need to ring 2 to open up the next area of the game. The second bell of awakening is deep underground. You've just went down into the depths and fought your way through
Fucking
giant
rats.
mice, through these little frog-like creatures that one-shot you with this poison mist. And of course through this huge gaping dragon. And what is your reward from all of this? Well, it's time to play Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
What?
Answer A, a bell of awakening. Answer B, a cool weapon. Answer C, lightning armaments for your weapon. Answer D, a key that leads to Blighttown, a town even deeper underground, darker, more obscure, more
That's
oppressive and
D.
sad, and devoid of sanity. That's right. Your reward for braving through all this was even a worse place.
Yeah. Yeah. Dark Souls or Souls games are games for pretty much masochists. Yep. That's for sure.
There was no salvation here, not yet, not for you, the player. This was your reward. More helplessness. It was dark. It was hard to maneuver. There were monsters shooting poison darts at you everywhere you went. And when you finally got to the bottom, what was there to greet you? A poison swamp. Everywhere you walked, life was sapped from you every second, reminding you that your life was ticking away every second you were down there, making you have to get
Amazing.
wherever you need to get fast.
What an
How
amazing
could you?
experience.
The swamp also slowed you down. So everything in here was out to kill you. You are not safe. Not anywhere.
Well, you
You're
just
never
have to
safe
find the
anywhere you go.
bonfire, Right?
The moment you feel comfortable, that's you in Firelink Shrine. That's you in the safety and warm embrace of a bonfire.
Yes,
That's not
sir.
you delving into the depths, going through Blighttown on your way to ringing the bell of awakening. That's not you progressing in life. The discomfort, the progress, the swamp, the poison, those are the hardships in life.
Yes, sir.
Those are all obstacles that you overcome each and every day in discomfort in order to achieve your goals and to get where you want to be in life. Me making this video is me rolling around in the swamp. I'm poisoned right now, walking towards my goals, and
Yeah. So the bonfire pretty much symbolizes your resting periods. You just have to, you just have to know when to rest, when to reset, when to uh when to reload your stuff, like your energy, your mental state. You just have to, recover pretty much after a long day's work or a workout or from studies, from your hobbies. You just have to know when to stop and take a step back and reset and go again uh tomorrow or another day. That's a beautiful thing about Souls games. It really does teach you a lot that's applicable in life. That's for sure. That's why I'm thankful uh for the experience that I had playing Elden Ring. I got a couple hundred hours in on Elden Ring. It's still hard to stop playing it. It's just a really good game. But yeah, it taught me a lot. It's definitely life changing.
I'll go through a million more Blightowns if I must. My question to you is, will you? Thank you so much for watching yet another one of my videos. Feel free to leave some feedback down below for me if you enjoyed it or disliked it. Tell me how I can improve. Consider subscribing so you don't miss my next one, and take care.
Amazing video, but yeah, been there, done that, but not in Dark Souls. The difference is, I experienced everything he mentioned, or the things that he learned. In I experienced those in Elden Ring instead. But yeah, I think Dark Souls is a lot more difficult, considering the very old mechanics. Yeah, as he said, the gameplay feels clunky. But yeah, I'll see it for myself when I finish Dark Souls 3. But yeah, great video. Uh like and I'll link the video in the description. Don't forget to like.